Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but not good night. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is JENETTA Barry, and I'm very proud to be part of this platform. I've been with USA Global TV since its inception, or its inauguration, I should say. And so much has been created on this platform, and it's with that I'm extremely proud to be able to present on a weekly basis every Tuesday updates on news on World Jenny's Day. Now, some of you may not know what World Jenny's Day is about, and so bear with me for those of you who do know. But World Jenny's Day is an international day that's held each 10th of October, which is World Mental Health Day. So we often say World Jenny's Day on World Mental Health Day. And the reason why that is so poignant is because I had a daughter, 16-year-old daughter called Jenny or Jennifer. And Jenny and I had an enormous argument one day, just after her 16th birthday. And she took herself off in a rage to her bedroom to pack and leave home. And when I went to find her, I found she'd taken her life in her shower, ensuite shower of her bathroom. And it's been a really, really tough, difficult journey. And initially, the first few years, it was a miracle I even got through. And so the wonderful thing is I did, and I made a decision to, and I started researching and studying to find accurate ways to bring myself through this, because I was shrouded in a feeling of that I was in a deep, dark, black hole, almost, if you will, an emotional prison sentence. And it felt like I had been committed to that jail for life, and it was daunting. And then I made a decision that that wasn't going to be like that anymore, and I was going to move forward. And slowly but surely I did. What I worked through, I've now called the Epiphany process. And the Epiphany process has helped thousands of people all over the world, from terrorist attack victims through to teenagers and young adults harming themselves, self-inflicting, and writing suicide notes and not getting out of bed or eating or washing, who are now living inspired lives with focus. They know exactly what they want to do. Being able to help many people through crisis, and other people through minor challenges to major challenges, to give them the skills that I realize most of us, if not all of us, are missing throughout our lives. And when those skills are in place, it's so much easier to tackle the challenges that come our way with all of us. At some time or another, we're all going to have to deal with loss and grief of loved ones. And that's never easy for anybody. And that's what the Epiphany process has been able to do. But why we then decided to start this charity arm to the process was that we realized that Jen had died on World Mental Health Day. So this year, 2023, will be the 4th World Jenny's Day we're holding. And we use the performing arts and the arts to soften and normalize conversations around depression. We're waiting for our charity registration to come through. It's going through all the process as we speak, and setting up a trust as well. And it's just been such an interesting journey, mostly inspiring, sometimes hair-pulling. It's never easy putting something together with the enormity that we are doing with World Jenny's Day. This year alone, we've had a music marathon with British DJs from different radio stations helping us to raise funds earlier this year in April. And then we've got this week coming up something very special. It's actually the second time it's being held. It's another fundraiser for World Jenny's Day. And I'm going to touch a little bit on it just now. But it is a cycle ride that's starting this Sunday, the 20th, in a place called Voi, near the two Savo Game Reserves. We're all meeting up there by train, plane, and whatever. And so that's happening this Sunday for a week. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information on what's happening there too. And then on the 25th of September, that would have been Jenny's 34th birthday. So every 25th, we try to do something meaningfully different. And this year, we're doing just that. We are having a 5-hour stint with discussion groups from people who have been in the most direst places, where life has been really tough, and they're now living lives that are inspired and has focus and vision and certainty and clarity, and their hearts are filled with understanding and thankfulness, that gratitude, that grace. So we have that, and we're going to present different types of hobbies, that unusual types of hobbies that really help one to lift one's spirit. And we're going to also put a little bit of theatre in there too, because when you're in your creative streak as a performer or somebody that's watching a performance or listening to a performance, it shifts our ability to be lighter. It makes life more balanced and realistic. That is why we use performing arts and the arts for World Jenny's Day. So that's going to be the 25th. And then on the 10th of October, we are launching a 24-hour performance marathon all around the world, streaming live online here on USA Global TV for 24 hours to celebrate a year of amazing things that we've been able to do in this year as World Jenny's Day. So we call it the celebration of mental health wellness. And we held it last year for 16 hours, and it was a phenomenal success. And so this year we're doing it again for 24. And the last 5 hours, we will be crossing over live to London, to the Millennium Gloucester Hotel in London, in Kensington, in actual fact, central London, where we are holding a red carpet celebrity gala evening with a variety show with celebrities. So you can see there's a lot going on. So we hold this program on a weekly basis. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we have guests and some feedback. And today we've got some meaningful feedback. And the first one I wanted to show to you is a really interesting backstory, actually. 2 years ago, when we decided to have this cycle ride, and to start making it happen. So we started preparing for that cycle ride 2 years ago in 2021. And our first cycle ride only happened in 2022. In all fairness, COVID did put a bit of a dent in it. So back then, we had a very special artist in Kenya come forward and say he would like to make a trophy for World Jenny's Day and that cycle ride. And the reason why we're doing this cycle ride is that there are a lot of people out there who are not in their creative zone as much as others. And they're more inclined to the sports and exercise side. And we realized that they needed to be acknowledged and being given the opportunity to do something for mental health and their mental health as well. So that is why we have this bike ride, which starts at the base of Kilimanjaro in Kenya and goes across day by day. And each night, as we go across Tsavo West through to Tsavo East Game Park and to the north coast of Kenya, there's a beautiful powder white sand beach there. And so the terrain changes all the time as we go across Kenya, day by day. And every night, we're in a different lodge or camp. And we've got cyclists coming from all over the world. In fact, we've got our first 2 cyclists who arrived yesterday, and they're staying with us. They're our special house guests. And then we all meet up on Sunday down in Tsavo. But what happened was that Jerome Sal actually came and said, I want to make this trophy. And wow, did he make it. I'm going to show you what he did. We've got just a little bit of a film clip here to show you now, and here it is. So that was his blueprint that he put to us. As said, he's made it all by hand. In fact, I'm just going to stop there. Just go back. So it was made all by hand in his little shed here in Nairobi. That's mahogany, the base. And I was in lockdown in England when he made it. So I only got to see it a year after he'd made it, because he made it in 2021 and it was first used in 2022. 2 for last year's ride. And what surprised me, because it was on display in a shop in Nairobi that tells people what it's about, and that is nearly half a meter high. I mean, I'm only 5 foot, so it's kind of like this big against me. It's an enormously, beautifully solid built trophy. And wow, you know, what can I say? But if we just go back and have a look at his blueprint there, you can see everything was very meticulously planned out. In fact, he used a piece of cedar instead of mahogany in the end. And the interesting thing is actually this picture is an NFT on the World Jenny's Day NFT collection. As you can see, it's actually moves. So yeah, he planned it out, and the tooling of all that, of putting in pieces of wood and all that metal, was exceptional. And we're just so grateful. And this is Jerome Sala himself, creator of the butterfly floating trophy. And I have ended this with our special morphing butterfly as well. So there we go. We have that piece of news to share with you. And you know, it even down to why he did certain things. And you can imagine making those pieces of wood and putting them in to the metal. It took him weeks and weeks and weeks to make this. And when you pick it up, it is heavy and solid. And wherever I go, people go, wow. I took it through for engraving this week, and people in the shopping centers were going, what an incredible trophy. So I wanted to give Jerome a shout out again, because really it is a feat of engineering, really, that it just blows me away. And what will happen is the person on the ride who has raised the most fundraising funds for World Jenny's Day will be awarded that floating trophy. It stays always in Kenya, but one of my other clients got a little man. When I say little man, a man in a little shop on the pavement here in Nairobi to make miniatures of that. They're very rustic miniatures, which kind of makes them very characterful. And so that person will be awarded that with their plaque on it, their plate, saying that they are the highest fundraisers. And we're actually introducing, because we had a team fundraising this year, which we hadn't expected. So we're now introducing a new trophy, miniature one, which will be the highest team who have done it. And next year we will have another trophy that will be the team trophy, entirely different to this one. So we're very proud to be able to take that with us next week for the cycle ride. And we're all leaving at the most incredible hours of the morning. 4 of us are going by road with 3 bikes, and the other 5, there are others who are coming by car and plane, but another 5 are going by the Chinese train, the train built by the Chinese. And yeah, so that's where we're going with this next week. And of course, next Tuesday I will be in the bush cycling. Well, I'm not going to cycle this year, but I'm going to be wearing my crown, like the crown Queen Mother, and waving from the support vehicles to everybody. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to feedback to you on that. And also we're going to be live streaming next week too. So and we've got filmmakers coming who are making a documentary. We've got Karen Dark, who is a British gold Paralympian, joining us. So just keep your eyes and ears peeled and come and join us online. We'd love to have you with us. And by the way, if any of you would like to leave comments, or if you have questions during the course of this show, please do let me know, and I can A, acknowledge you, or B, answer your questions. So that's this week's cycle ride coming up. I can't believe how quickly this last year has gone since the last one. It's like, wow. But in the meantime, something very precious and special happened this last week, very, very close to my heart. And some of you might have heard that I grew up in the theatre and the arts with my mother, who had been on the West End stage, and my dad was an impresario. He worked with many people around the world, and in actual fact, famous people, promoting them, and was a record producer. And I'm going to just play snippets of this song, and it's a watered down version, but this song I now own the rights to, and it's been sung by Harry Belafonte and Miriam Makeba, Brothers Four, Pete Seeger. For those of you who grew up in Europe, Boney M, just so many. Helmut Lotte has as well. Many people have sung this song. It's kind of like the pop song of Africa. And I even have a granddaughter called Malaika, which is the name of the song. And Malaika in Swahili means angel. So this popped up in the newspaper from the Coventry Observer this week on my dad. If we can bring up the next video. This is Dad here with the Coventry Observer. Now there's going to be bits of Malaika playing as I explain. So that's my dad around about the 1940s, I would say then. That was when he was an executive with African Consolidated Theatres. But he was born and brought up in Coventry, and there's a Coventry Museum, and Dad is recorded there as being a phenomenal music producer. And I had spoken to the person that writes these articles on music for Coventry Observer and is the curator of the museum. And he very kindly, I wasn't expecting it, he posted this. So those are the first few chords of Malaika, and it just says, some of you might not have known Charles from Coventry, but he was born in Milton Street in Coventry. He left post-war Britain, relocated to South Africa, moving into theatre. And he produced revues and pantomimes. Oh my gosh, my dad and his pantomimes. He did magic back in those days that still keep people going in these days. My mum was Cinderella one time, and she was there in her rags, and there was a puff of smoke, and she was in her ball gown. And so he did reviews and pantomimes and handled the visits of international stars such as Danny Kaye, Johnny Ray, Maurice Chevalier, and Alfred Hitchcock. So a little bit more music as we go on to the next one. So Dad left South Africa and settled in Nairobi, Kenya, setting up the Equator Sound Studios Limited. That was the name of his studios, and the label was Equator Records. And he said, when I founded Equator Sound Studios, the Kenya recording industry was in a shocking state. African artists were being paid as little as 30 shillings a record. So I instituted local royalties and sat with the Broadcasting Authority to work out the details. And he was actually chairman of PRS, the Performing Rights Society, for many years for East Africa. And he was responsible for the career of legendary East African musician Daudi Kabaka. So, and he actually wrote the song that Dad wrote the song that made Daudi Kabaka famous, and Dad couldn't read or write music or play an instrument, so he was quite an inspiration. And he was famous for his African twist, which is an offbeat number to which one could twist American style. And he also recorded the songs Harambee. Harambee is second to the national anthem here in Kenya. Bush Baby Twist. They've said African Twist, but it's actually Bush Baby Twist, and Hulule Hulule. And for those of you who know the Tremolos from the UK, the Tremolos did a rendition of Hulule Hulule in 1968, and it was on the charts in England for a good 6 weeks, top 10, top 20. And another of Charles Fine's was a young guy called Hank, and some of you will remember Roger Whittaker, an amazing singer and whistler who became an international star, and he actually started with my dad. So now it says here that I'm asking for local Coventry musicians if they, because I founded a charity called Well Jenny's Day, if they would be interested to get together so we do some form of rendition of Malika from Coventry on our 24-hour round the world session. So we're busy working that. And you know, Dad's label has worked with so many people and been associated with them. And he'd be 111 now, so and he lived to a ripe old age. So that was that news for this last week as well. And I'm very proud that we've been able to keep that information alive, because really I think the history of what's been achieved in the past, when it gets lost, it's very, very sad. And Dad's legacy is carrying on no matter what. So that was a little bit of snippet for the 24-hour side of things. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you is that tickets for the gala evening are now very much available. They're available on our website, which is World Jenny's Day, WORLDJENNYSDAY.com. And if you go to the tab that says WJD 2023, you'll be able to scan, QR scan, whichever option you want in buying your ticket for the gala evening. And at the end of this video I am just about to show you, you'll be able to scan even here if you wanted to, and if you've got your phone handy. But here it is. So there we go. If you would like to be a part of that very prestigious evening, you can go onto the website if that will give you some more clarity, or you may even like to personally reach out to me at JENETTA, JENETTA, at theepiphanyprocess.com. So that's THE for the, Epiphany is EPIPHANY, process, PROCESS.com. And it's just going to be such a heart-opening and heartwarming evening, as we have people from all over the world. We've got some of the American music industry. They were chatting with us today. They've booked into a hotel. They're coming to perform with us. And in fact, Sean Guerrero, who is the singer, has a single coming out on that day. He's launching it that day. And so that's a really amazing representation of the American music industry arriving. So that's by way of example, but I'm not going to give you everything because it's all a surprise as we go further and further and closer to the 10th of October. So this is my personal invitation to you to join us in London for a red carpet gala evening, variety evening, and can't wait to meet you personally and have you there. And so that's it for this week. Next week I will be in the middle of nowhere. We'll see what we can create there. We are live streaming, and it would be amazing. Oh, we've got a message here, and this is Monique. Monique lives right up. She's from Holland, and she lives right up in northern Kenya, in semi-arid northern Kenya. It gets very, very dry there, and she lives amongst the elephants and all the different wild animals in a house next to the Washingiro River. So Monique, just so lovely to have you here today. And she's written here, your dad's legacy will carry on. He was so gifted. I loved his compositions from day one, and I always will. Thank you, Monique, for your love and support. You're always there with us in World Jenny's Day, and it means the world to us. Definitely, Andy and I have got to get up to Samburu again. And I must tell you, if you want to go anywhere in Kenya, Samburu's the place. There are species of animals there that you don't get in other parts of Africa. So it's always lovely visiting Monique there. So thank you, Monique. And yes, that's us for this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you as we live stream next week. Hopefully we'll be able to come in for a little while next week. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be a little bit organic. And of course, the following week we'll have all that's happened in more detail. So I want to thank you for your time today. We look forward to having you with us again. And I believe that the next show is the business show, and there's a special guest. I will leave our presenters to tell you all about it. So stay tuned, don't go away, because today is filled with such a diverse cross-section of offers that are informative and educative. And if you're looking for a platform that stimulates and gives you insight, you don't have to look any further, because this is the most amazing channel. So please stay with us. And in the meantime, I send you lots and lots of love. Bye.
Hi, I'm Kim Randall. I am the co-host for Authentic Achievements, which is also the name of my latest book and the name of my business. The latest book, Authentic Achievements, has the world's longest subtitle, which is the 7 secrets around building brave belief, unstoppable sales, and turning your leaders into talent magnets for guaranteed sustainable growth, which is what I do for organizations globally. I had the absolute privilege of meeting the lovely Dr. JACALYN almost 2 years ago now, and I'm so honoured to be part of this amazing platform. I've met some of the most fantastic people, shared some amazing stories, and never failed to learn something. If you've got a voice that you want to be heard, you've got something out there that you know you can better serve people with, I highly recommend you get in touch with Dr. JACALYN and come and join us here on USA Global TV and Radio. If you're also looking to take your business to the next level, I would love to connect with you personally. So please do get in touch, KimAdeleRandall.com or AuthenticAchievements.com, and I would love to share your journey and see how we can help you take it to the next level.